Good morning everybody, welcome back. Now, no big panels anymore, well not today anyway, but we've got a little bit of a job going on. So what's happened to 4-core 120 and a 70mm earth? Now what originally they had that continued straight through, right? So they said, can you gland the cable into the top of this and then bend it round? And I said, no. I said, not a prayer. You're not going to bend a 4-core 120 in that space, which I don't even know what it is, but let's have a measure. Let's have a measure. About 150mm. So yeah, 150mm. That's never ever going to happen. So what I said, I said, oh, can you stick a 90 bend on? And then what that gets me is a removable end cap. So what I can do is I'm going to drill the end cap and the earth with the cable. I'll do that later, the banjo. But then I can take the end cap off, slide it up the cable, push it back, put the fixing bolts back in on both sides, and then I've got the cable glanded. Then I can ring it, bend the cores individually in there, and then that sits back all lovely and nice. So that's the job for this morning. Well, I was going to say for today, but if I only get that done today, I've had a pretty poor day. So I'll try and get as much of this process on film as I can. Right then, what I've done, I put the banjo and the small lock nut onto the end cap, got the spacing correct. So I'm just going to drill the holes now. Where's me doing this? Oh, there they are. See, I do wear PPE now and again. Sound like that battery's got much in it. See how far it gets me. It's a 50mm hole saw. Shitting hell. That one's pretty decent. Now, because I haven't got a 20mm hole saw, well, I've got the 20mm hole saw, but I haven't got the arbor to hold it, so I had to improvise. So put that through. And then put the cone cutter in. Nope, next one down. That one should be it. Lovely job. Right, now I have to mark it and strip the cable, which you've seen a million times, so there's no point in showing you that. But just in case, I'll do the mark. So I don't know whether you can see that past the but the banjo has to go to the back. But you can still get, once this cable's in, I can still get in to drill that. So I'll get in, drill that, and then the earth goes in to cover the front. So I'm just going to do the mark now. Oops. Right, get that as close as you can. There's my little red bit, there it is. So up onto the back, there it is. There we go, onto the top where the cone, where the armouring will sit. Transfer it over to the cable. Oops. There's my white pen, there's my white pen. There we go. And now it's exhaust cutter, stripping, and all that magicalness. So we're going to come back to it. I'll have the gland on, and then what I'll do is I'll show you taking that apart and sliding it up and putting everything in. Okay, what happened here is I thought I'd recorded doing the gland, doing the plate, but I didn't press record. So what I've had to do is splice in another piece of video where I put the plate on and put the cable back into place and do what I did. So it's a different cable, but it's obviously it's the same sort of action that I had to do, but terrible editing, I might add. So, plate's on. I'm just going to ring around the cable now, because what I've got to do is I've got to strip this down, and I've got to bend each core individually to allow me to get the cable back to where it needs to sit. Because there's obviously no way you can bend all four cores 90 degrees in a wanna. It's just not going to happen. I don't think physics allows it. Right then, what have we got first? No, oh. Well, 3 and 1. Well, 2. So, let's have a look. The lock nut's only on loose to allow me to get it into position and twist the cable should I need to. So if we look now, that's dropped by about 10 mil. But that's not an issue because we'll get a ratchet strap. I'm just going to pull that up using the unistrut above. There we go. Put a little lock on it. Right then. those. Now we can get our fixing bolts back in. This is a bit fiddly farty on, but never mind. One. That's all tightened up now. So release that. Take that off. All I need to do drill the hole, and I'm not going to use that 12mm bit I used earlier on because that was pants. So drill that hole on the banjo and we'll fit the bolt, and then obviously you put that in, earth comes down into there, but you can't get the drill in behind if you've got the earth in place. So have I got another 12mm drill bit? Is the question I hear you all ask. I should have just used that. Right then, just before I started terminating, somebody's just come and informed me that the CTs that were mounted on that din rail in there now have to be removed and put onto the cars in the trunking. So there goes any sort of neatness that you're going to achieve. But I've got the lugs there, so I'll try and set the camera up and just show you how I'm going to measure them. I said this job just gets worse. Still haven't got the earth away because I've just had a conversation about that, but yeah, anyway, we'll see. Right then, open that. So 3 of them, because these are 10s with the 10mm hole, because the neutral, for some reason, is an 8. So I still need to go down to the stores downstairs and get one of those. But now, in the wisdom, the people who designed this panel, so they send you a bag of bolts. When you try and put the bolt in to the terminal, put a washer on, can't get it in the back. So then what you've got to do is you've got to fart about. It's not that one, it is that one. Taking the bolts out, tiny little Allen bolt. Oh, look, tiniest little thing. So once that's done, and you can pull it forward, and you get the bolt in behind. Talk about making people's life hard. It's pretty ridiculous. But still, these things are sent to try us. There we go. We'll tighten that back up. Change that because I need that. What I am struggling with is battery life, because I haven't got my lead with me, the 110 lead, and my charge is a 110 charger, so I'm struggling a little bit as to what is charged and what isn't charged. I think I said before that I've got attachments that go into this crimper to take a lithium ion battery as opposed to a NiCad battery, but I snapped the tabs off it, off that thing there, so now it doesn't hold in, and if you don't tape it up, it falls out. Because that's how good I am. That, and then the last one we need is emu. Emu there. And I'm going to check which crimps. Yeah, I've got 70 mils in, so I need the 120s in. Right then, after all that farting about, we're ready to start. So where's the Now the good thing with this is normally I'd use the tie rack to put inside of the lug, get the measure and do it. But what you've got, when you're in trunking like this, you've sort of got a little bit of leeway, a little bit of play. So what you can do is hold it against the lug, right? And you can look through to the top of the barrel of the lug and sort of, you can get that little measure, right? There you go, right? I'm happy with that. Now the reason I'm happy with that is because you've got up and down in this trunking. Not a lot, but you have got a little bit, right? And it just saves that little bit of time. It'll still look, well, it would have looked good if I hadn't put all these CTs on it, because they just make a complete arse of everything. So it still looks neat as they form round, as they come round, but your eye will not pick up. If it's 2 or 3 mil, it can't pick up that difference. If it's 10 mil or 15 mil, yeah, of course it can. But that maybe 2 or 3 mil, you just can't. The human eye won't pick it up. And again, instead of cutting straight through it so it would remain triangular, cut across the 2 widest parts and it rounds it off. Good trick there. So I'm just doing this with a Stanley knife because it's a 120, it's small enough. So it's like a 185, 150, 185, 240. I'll go round it with the exhaust cutter, but this is all right to be doing. to be doing with a Stanley knife. And as it's already rounded off, it will, hopefully, he says, when he's on camera, it will just slide on, it will just drop on. Put the heat shrink on first. There's another thing, it will go over the lug, but it's a lot easier to put it on before, oh no, that's what I need to do, sorry. Where's my grips? What have I done with them? Then just at the bottom of the thing, it hasn't rounded all the way off. It rounds the top part off, but towards the bottom it doesn't, so you just give it a little bit of a squeeze with some grips. There we go. And then lug. You can just push it on. Just check the orientation's correct. That way, it needs a little bit of a twist. But there, that's, I'm happy with that. So now I can crimp that on. 2 crimps on a 120. Basically, you haven't really got room for another one. Slide that up. That goes on. Nuts. So you want flat washer, and these are serrated washers, and then the nut. Give that a little wop up. It's not mega tight, it's tight enough to hold it in place so it won't move when I start doing the others, but obviously it's not torqued up to any sort of setting. That's not for me. Shit things. Surely somebody should have invented something by now. Up there? Yeah, it's a little bit better. Well, it's as close as it's going to get. It's not the greatest. And lug on. That's about you. White pen on this one. Sure. Sweet. Oh, let's move that around. Go. Bloody things. Right, I've got the orientation slightly, I must have moved it in the, when it was in the crimp, it's moved ever so slightly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put the nut on and tighten it up. And what that does, so what I'm going to do, put the nut on, tighten it back, and then I'll just bring it forward, pull it forward ever so slightly, and what that will do, it will just twist the orientation of the cable, of the lug, so it'll make it sit flat. Oh, be handy if I had the gun on, fucking tighten, wouldn't it? So there's that. Ever so slightly, you have to be careful not to damage the terminal. Ever so slightly, there we go. And then when I pull that back off, hopefully, it's in fashion where I can get all of the necessary pieces I need. So flat washer, serrated washer, nut. I couldn't get that on before because it was sitting like at that angle instead of that angle. Right, grey next. I hate CTs, as you might have gathered. There we go. Now, it's changed a little bit, so I have to put that round there to cut against the widest part. And again, it gives you your rounded edge. Squeeze. Also try and do a little bit of a form, because when you squeeze it, it spreads out. So then just go back up and pull the pieces in that have, or squash the pieces in that have spread out. Then she goes. Sound. I'll try not to move it this time. Stupid sod out. I felt like it stayed pretty straight. Yes, it did. Same again. Flat washer, serrated washer. Not. Bit of a puzzle. Right. So that is basically those. See them, they're bloody awful, aren't they? So then I've got to get the earth in, put the earth in, round. I can't terminate the earth because they haven't got any 70mm8s. I can do the neutral, but I need to go and get the lug from downstairs, so I'll go and do that, and then we're back on.
Oh, the fuel come back in.
No way.
The fuel come back in.
No. Do you want to be on a YouTube video?
I thought you finished. You didn't have one.
No, I've just got to finish that. I was dragged away and all sorts. Jamie wanted me to help him and... Right.
What's that thing you gotta do? Cover the what?
What?
You know you gotta cover whatever, you're not getting paid for it.
Oh no. I took them off, so I don't think it's my job to put them back on. Yeah, don't get paid for that. Again, isn't it just?
What time you finished yesterday? 5:30?
20 past, I think. Yeah. About 20 past. You are going to be in the YouTube video, you know, because that's recording.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Mainly my voice.
You are?
Mainly my voice. Wow, I'm going to go.
Right on, mate. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the neutral doesn't have a CT in it, because it hasn't got any useful current to measure. So again, same sort of measure. I'm not putting the tire up in. Up there. That was Justin, one of the labourers. He sounds power. All I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the earth down. I'll put it in, and then it goes up to this stud up here. So I'll leave it long, and obviously leave it long enough to go over there. But I won't be terminating it today. It'll be next week now. Well, it'll probably be all of them. They'll get done in one day. I'll have to go around with a crimper and a cutter and all the rest of it. And again, I won't get paid for it or anything like that. But I'll book it in for this week, so hopefully I'll get paid for this week for it. And then I'll just have to go back at some point and make sure that they are all actually connected. So I'm not falsifying documentation, fraudulently claiming monies that don't belong to me, like everybody does these days. It's just over there, funnily enough. Houses of Parliament. Camping mallet was about £3, or you could pay 45 quid for a proper one. Who needs proper tools? That's one cable done. Not on. I just hand tighten that because it was only hand tight when it was on, but like the lads have got to come put the torque settings on them and all that sort of stuff. So there's that one. Earth's going to go in a minute. Actually, as we put the earth in now, there's not much point. Measure on it. There. I think that's, yeah, I did. I thought I'd done that. Strip the end off the shroud. Oh, hang on a minute. I don't think I've tightened this though. No, I haven't. Well remembered. Not bad for an old man, that. .27mm spanner, fits in perfect. I've had that a while now. Tie wraps, so we're going to need tie wraps. World of disappearing tie wraps. You get a bag of tie wraps and somebody just comes along and goes, oh, there's some tie wraps. I'll just take them. Well, this 20 minutes to put a plastic tie wrap in. Finally. Right, you may be thinking, oh, I wouldn't have done that, that looks rubbish. And I'm thinking the same thing now. What I'm going to have to do is go and get a lifter, and I'm going to have to change that earth over to this side because I'm not having that. But I had to have the cable running straight because I couldn't have kicked that across. And yeah, I'm going to have to go and get a lifter now. Fucking hell. And reset that the earth up the other side of the cable because I can't have that sitting like that. one. Bloody hell. Right, form the bend in it first. What I might have to do here is come, I want to follow the newel, yeah, inside there. So I'm just going to have to go. These CTs are a nightmare. The best. Right, so then that's going to sit inside of there. It goes up to that stud at the top. But I haven't got the lug yet, so there we go. That's that one done. So now all I've got to do is tidy all this stuff away, which is all of this, tidy all that away, all of that up there, and then move to the next one, which is down the corridor. I'm going to go out here, down there, and on the right hand side. Jesus. And then I've got to go and get a lifter to change that earth cable over. Oh, there's a podium there. I might pull that podium round and do that there then. Yeah, that's a better idea. So anyway, I've got 2 more of these to do today, and then I've got some 70 mils to do, so I might do a video of the 70 mils. Because it's a slight variation on what's happening there, because it goes straight into the trunking as opposed to going into an end cap. So I might be able to show you that. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. Because I'm nearly there. I'm nearly at 1,000 now. There's 860, nearly 870. So if I get to 1,000, happy days. So yeah, give us a like, and I'll see you at the next piece of graft.